Well, this weekend we were at home and we definitely had what I would call a little bit of an up and down weekend. We had Southern Illinois on Friday night, and as I said last week, we really struggled with Southern at their place. Southern was coming off a big win against Wichita, and it was one of those matches that we definitely knew we had to be prepared for, and knew Southern would come in with a lot of confidence. And I think, unfortunately, in terms of heart and effort and attitude, it was probably our poorest match of the year. And it's really unfortunate because it is not characteristic of our team. We don't execute perfectly. We have a lot of things to work on, but I have never felt like we didn't have the fight and the attitude and effort in any match this year. And I felt that way, and I take responsibility in a way that I wasn't prepared for it. As a coach, you go into every match and you have all these scenarios that you think could possibly happen, and you kind of prepare for those, and I wasn't prepared for that. I thought that our week of practice, we were very challenged because we didn't have one practice this week where we had our whole starting lineup, but how resilient we were and how we still managed to get a lot done, I really just felt really good going into the weekend. And so I was caught a little bit off guard. I know our kids were extremely frustrated with their performance and how, not just with the loss, obviously the loss is the loss, but the way we lost, I think, really hurt more than anything else. And it's one of those things where we always talk about, you can't get it back. It's over with, and we can't get that day back. And I know they'd love to have it back, but so I think that's the biggest thing. I think, obviously, Southern is a very good team, and they came in and executed very well. They had a couple kids that they just kept feeding because we had no answer for them, so their game plan was very good. Defensively, we couldn't score the way we wanted to, and they just did a really good job, so I give a lot of credit to what they did. I think the lack of urgency part of it had also to do, in my mind, with the overall attitude and effort, and we did have a good start to game 3, but I think the biggest example of lack of urgency is, for those of you that were there, we were up 24-19 and just could not finish it, and it was almost like we didn't score and be like, okay, well, we'll get the next one, rather than really trying hard to get the next one with what we were doing. So we ended up losing that game 27-25, so that's a tough way to lose. I think the biggest positive in my mind on the weekend was the way we were able to come back against Evansville, because in less than 24 hours, you kind of have to lick your wounds and move on, and it's pretty easy to say that. It's pretty easy to say, well, we're mad, we're going to get after it, but you still have to do a lot in your head mentally to be prepared in less than 24 hours to come out and execute again. And I thought we executed exactly what we needed to do on Saturday night. The effort was there, the attitude was there. It was the fighting team that we've been all year. So very proud of the change. We had a great match against Evansville. Our attitude, in my mind, allowed us to execute the things that we needed to do. So very proud of the turnaround. So that's why I say kind of up and down weekend for us. I also would like to thank the people that came to the alumni match. We had an alumni match on Saturday, and I'd like to report that there was no major injuries, which is really good. But it was a lot of fun to reminisce with those wonderful people that have been a big part of our program and a part of the tradition. So a lot of fun on Saturday for that reason. Coming up, we have a very tough road trip. We're at Illinois State and Indiana State. It's a little bit different week for us because we play Illinois State on Thursday, and then we have a day in between and play Indiana State on Saturday. So a little bit different preparation for us, but we're excited about the road trip. Both teams are playing very well right now. Both teams are playing very well at home. Illinois State is a team that is in position. I look at 5 teams that have the shot to win a conference championship over the next couple weeks, and Illinois State is one of those teams. And to be honest, one of their losses, they were without their setter, which their setter is a huge part of their team. The life of their team, so obviously that loss was kind of unexpected. They are the best defensive team in terms of stats. They lead the conference in blocks and digs. They have 2 of the top blockers in the conference and the best digger in the conference. So obviously our offense will be challenged in a lot of ways, our patience, our aggressiveness. They also, with their setter, I think she does an amazing job of getting her attackers in a great position. They're very balanced. So definitely we'll have our hands full on Friday or Thursday, and then we turn around and have Indiana State, who, if you remember, both teams at our place gave us a run for our money, including Indiana State. And even though they're actually in a position right now, in my mind, to push for that sixth position for the conference tournament. We only take 6 teams. I think we pretty much have 5 that are for sure, and then there's 3 teams that are pushing for that 6th place, and Indiana State is one of them. And they've lost 3 of their matches in 5 games, so they're very capable. They play very well at home. Morgan Dahl is the leading point scorer in the conference, and she's on Indiana State's team, so a lot of things that we have to prepare for. I do like the fact that we play Illinois State, and then we get a day to turn around and work on Indiana State. So a lot of our preparation in the next couple days will be completely focused on Illinois State. So a big week for us in terms of the conference race, but I know we're also looking forward to getting back out there and getting on the court and competing.